Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Simon. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you very much.
Jolly good to hear it. And hello to all of our lovely listeners.
Oh, them.
Those lot.
Hello. Factoralites.
Our Factoralites, yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
All of you obviously know exactly who we are and what we're doing here, but just in case someone has accidentally stumbled along here whilst looking for a completely different podcast, I'm Simon Wells.
And I'm Bruce Fielding, apparently.
Yes, apparently. Allegedly. So it says on the label.
We're both voice artists.
Yes, we are.
And we do this for a living. Not podcasting.
Not this, but no.
But
we do the voicey stuff
the
for a
voicey
living.
stuff. The stuff that goes like this.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we do audiobooks and advertising and things like that.
And sometimes pretending to be other people.
Absolutely, yes. So when we're not doing that sort of thing for a living, we come here, we sit in our respective little sound booths, and we record some wonderful, interesting facts because we are both nerds.
That's true.
And we love this sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm a proud nerd.
So am I. Yes.
And I'm stuffed full of facts. My brain is stuffed full of them.
Yes.
Although generally not about carpet.
No, I didn't know an awful lot about carpets until this very moment.
So that's what Factoraly is all about taking a boring subject and making it interesting for 30 minutes.
Yes.
But,
Carpets. So what can one say about carpets?
They deaden sound nicely. I've got carpet on my desk.
I've got carpet on my desk as well. Yeah. I've got, all right, let's compare carpets. What sort of carpet have you got?
I've got a very nice sort of thick pile blue carpet, which is actually an offcut from my hall carpet.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a very thick, fluffy blue bath mat.
Okay.
Wrapped around my desk for sound deadening purposes.
Fabulous. So, you're the expert on etymology and stuff. So, carpet?
Well, so they say. So, carpet, the etymology of carpet, I had to try and work out why this was the case. It didn't make sense for a while, but carpet comes from the Latin carpere, meaning to pluck or to pull apart.
Okay.
Which sounded odd to me. You don't want to pull apart your carpet, but that's the method of actually making the carpet fluffy. You pluck at the threads in order to pull them up and make them fluffy. So it came from that, and then it went sort of via French carpet, and then into English carpet. The word first appeared as it's currently written in English around the 13th century.
Did they have carpets in the 13th century?
Apparently so, yeah.
I think they probably rugs rather than carpets.
Well, exactly. Yes, we'll get on to the definition shortly.
Yes.
But back in those days, the word carpet just meant a heavy decorative cloth.
Okay.
For a while, the word was interchangeable with bedspread and tablecloth and things like that. It was just a decorative cloth, not necessarily used for carpety purposes.
Right.
But yeah, they've been around for a while.
Okay.
There are suggestions that carpets have been around since at least the 7th millennium BC.
Right.
Don't know of any evidence suggesting that, but some say that they've been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, you hear stories about Cleopatra, don't you?
You do?
But that's apparently not true.
Oh, really? Remind us of the story and then tell us why it's not true.
Okay. So the story is that her entrance, I think we've talked about in our episode on perfume, we talked about Cleopatra's entrance into Rome, about how she perfumed the ship's
the sails of her ships. Yeah, that's right.
So that people could smell her coming. But there was also a story that she was carried before Caesar, wrapped up in a rug.
Okay.
And if you watch the films and stuff, they sort of unroll Elizabeth Taylor in a rug.
Oh, yes, okay, I can picture that, yeah.
What Plutarch actually said was that she was carried into Rome in like a laundry basket.
Oh, well that's...
The sort of sack that you would put old bed linen into.
That seems slightly less ceremonial, doesn't it?
Yeah. So all the paintings about sort of like, Cleopatra and rugs and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a laundry basket, according to Plutarch, who was we talk about Pliny.
Yes, and the huge quantities of salt that you have to take his wisdom with.
Yes, Pliny the Elder. So Plutarch is a little bit like that.
Okay, fine.
He's been known to exaggerate.
Right, okay, fine. Well, so somewhere between a laundry basket and a beautiful Persian rug.
Yes, exactly. Great. I mean, not the only person who was carried into somewhere. Genghis Khan, or are we supposed to call him Genghis now?
I think we have changed it to Genghis, but
okay, so
it doesn't feel right to me.
Genghis Khan once was going to execute somebody, and then when he saw him, he realised that he was an old friend, like a boyhood friend.
Okay.
And I thought, well, I can't just execute an old friend.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I'll wrap him up in a carpet and then I'll just beat him to death.
Sure. Yeah.
Because then I won't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So this is, I think, historically, what I'm picturing every time you've mentioned someone being rolled up in a carpet, I'm picturing what is essentially a rug. A large roll of rug sort of carried over your shoulder. There's a difference between a carpet and a rug, at least in modern terms, which is to say that carpets, generally speaking, go wall to wall.
Fitted.
They're fitted. They're made to fit the room in which they sit.
Yeah.
Whereas a rug is an independent loose item that's just placed on the floor and can be moved around.
Unless it's a Persian carpet.
Well, yes, exactly.
Which I would call a carpet as opposed to a Persian rug.
As a rug, would you? Oh, that's controversial.
Yeah. And then there are runners.
Yes. All sorts of terminology that goes with this. It's quite interesting, actually. The word rug is an old Scandinavian word, ruga, which means exactly what we've just described.
Yes.
I found the oldest surviving carpet, which to my mind is a rug, but never mind, was made around the 5th century BC, and it's known as the Pazyurk carpet.
Okay.
And it was excavated in Siberia in 1949 in fairly good nick. It's sort of got griffin designs around the borders. It's got red dye in it, made from crushed cochineal. It's made of a mixture of wool and goat hair. So that's quite old. But yeah, I still think that's a rug rather than a carpet.
Interesting. I feel that, we talk about magic carpets.
Oh, yes, we do, yes.
And you would say that was a rug. We don't talk about a magic rug.
No, you don't. It doesn't sound quite the same, does it?
Unless it's some sort of toupee that works really well.
Maybe we can just agree that they're roughly interchangeable.
Yes, let's do that. Magic carpets are interesting.
Yes.
The idea of a flying carpet is quite something. I mean, that sort of idea is taken, I guess, from prayer carpets, prayer rugs.
Oh, yes, okay, yeah.
So prayer rugs are also quite interesting because they, like a Muslim prayer rug, has various features on it, including something that looks like an arrow, which you kind of point at Mecca. So you can point that to the east. Yeah. And there are usually sort of designs on it of things like a mosque lamp or water or a basin or a mountain, which all depict things. I think the mountain depicts the Kaaba stone. There's all sorts of things on a prayer rug that, if you look closely, I don't know whether you've ever looked closely at a prayer rug.
I don't think I have actually, no.
There's a lot of interesting design on it.
Lots of symbolism.
Yeah. The other thing that's unique is another sort of carpet, which I'm sure you'll be incredibly familiar with.
Right.
Which is the Axminster, which is the home of carpet.
Sure.
Specially designs carpets for one particular several particular places.
No, go on.
Okay. So Axminster designs carpets for Wetherspoons. So every single Wetherspoons has a unique carpet inside it.
No.
They are all. Every single one is special to that particular pub, and usually has some reflection on the name of the pub.
I really feel compelled to go to my local Spoons now and see what's there.
Yep.
How fascinating. Now that's interesting because I read that Axminster carpet is one of the most expensive carpets produced in the UK because it's particularly good quality. It's durable. It's quite, the wool that it's made from is good quality. Wetherspoons is not necessarily renowned for expensive quality.
No, but they are renowned for supporting British industry.
That's true.
And restoring British buildings and
yes.
Doing a lot for... I mean, Axminster have been making carpets since 1755.
Have they really?
Yeah, they've been going a long time. I mean, wow. they gradually fell into, there weren't too many being made after the First World War.
Sure, yeah.
And so in 1937, I think it was a chap called Whitty who discovered that Axminster used to be this wonderful centre for making carpets. And so we should do that again. I'm going to start the carpet factory up again and start making the best carpets in the world. I mean,
Wow.
you find Axminster carpets in Rolls Royces.
Yes, of course.
You find them everywhere. There's plush luxury.
Yeah, yeah. I think we used to import our carpets from all over the place, Persia, Turkey, Afghanistan, places like that, until we started making them ourselves.
Yes.
But then once we'd sort of got the hang of it, and we have quite a significant wool trade, we have an awful lot of industrial mills in the north and so on, so it makes sense that we would have turned our hands to carpet making.
We also have quite a lot of sheep.
We do, yes.
So we can make proper wool carpets as opposed
Yes.
to the nylon ones. In Kentish Town, not far from where I live, there used to be a whole load of carpet shops.
Okay.
Like every shop on the road was a carpet shop.
Hmm.
And I used to think, why are they all carpet shops selling Persian rugs and things like that? And I realised that the building opposite was a bonded warehouse. So that was where all the rugs used to come into the UK.
Oh.
And it was an easy place, like if you've got a carpet shop, you might as well have it directly opposite the bonded carpet
Yeah,
warehouse.
sure. Minimum transportation.
Yes.
Just carry the things across on your shoulder.
Across the road. Yeah.
Brilliant. When I picture someone fitting a carpet, you sort of picture two people carrying this huge carpet out of the back of a van. Apparently, typical rolls of carpet are between 13 and 16 feet wide.
Okay.
Which is sort of in keeping with that idea. It takes two people to carry the thing. Must be quite heavy. And if you're trying to make a fitted carpet larger than that, you
sew them together.
Right, you say so. They used to be sewn. They are now seamed.
Seamed.
And apparently, this process uses something called a seaming iron and seaming tape.
Ah.
And it's sort of heat-activated tape that you put on the back of the carpet and iron over with a seaming iron.
Yes.
And you make them up to the right size, and then you have those sort of wooden rods at the sides of the room
Gripper rod.
with little tacks that you sort of
Yes.
stretch the carpet and put them onto the grippers. You have that funny tool that you see people kicking with their knee in order to jam the car. That's God, you know more about this process than I do. Crikey.
I've done a lot of carpeting.
Have you?
Not as much as Buckingham Palace or something like that.
I would imagine they do have quite a few carpets.
They do. They have 830,000 square feet of carpet in Buckingham Palace.
Say again.
830,000 square feet.
That's a lot of carpet, isn't it?
A lot of carpet.
Wow. I had a quick look at how carpets are made, because you sort of get different thicknesses and depths, don't you? You get nice big fluffy shag pile.
Shag pile.
Exactly,
yes.
all of that
What's
stuff.
What's a pile?
Right, so pile is purely the name given to fabric that sticks up away from the base material. And apparently you have, when carpets are woven, you weave a piece of cloth with, technical terminology here, warp and weft.
Yep.
Which I've heard of before but never really looked into. The warp is the vertical threads that are held in place in a loom. The weft are the horizontal threads that are woven in between those. And then you get the pile, which is a separate thread, which traditionally was hand knotted in between those other threads, now largely done by machine.
Mm-hmm.
And these things have different densities, different thicknesses, different lengths, and that's what makes up, whether you have a thin pile or a thick pile carpet. The thicker it is, the higher the number of fibres that are knotted in, the longer it takes, the more expensive it is, etc. So the idea of that thick pile carpet is sort of quite a luxurious item, would take a very long time to make.
They can be quite expensive, can't they?
They can, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, for no apparent reason, I looked up how much it would cost to carpet a Gulfstream aeroplane.
Of course you did.
A private jet.
Sure.
£75,000.
Really?
Just to carpet a jet.
Goodness me.
Up to be fair.
Huh. I suppose it's quite bespoke, isn't it? They're going to have to be tailor-made and measured and
and
handcrafted,
going up the
aren't they?
sides slightly and all that stuff. When you start looking into carpets,
There's quite a lot there, isn't there?
There's a lot of skin and dust and stuff there.
Oh, yes.
And people who sell wooden floors will tell you how unhealthy carpets are.
Yeah.
And they contain all sorts of horrible stuff. But actually, the horrible stuff that they contain, things like skin, allergens, food, dust, dirt. A carpet can, if you don't clean it, hold up to about 4 times its own weight of horrible stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
But actually, if you think about it, that stuff would be floating around the place if it wasn't captured by a carpet.
Well, yes, that's true. You'd just have a very thick layer of dust on your wooden floor,
Yes,
or
exactly.
floating around in the air.
In the same way that you would brush a wooden floor, you vacuum clean a carpet, or you wash a carpet.
Yes.
So, vacuum cleaners have been around for a long time, and they were specifically invented because they were carpets.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I suppose that makes sense. You wouldn't really need one, would you, if you didn't have a carpet? You'd just use a dustpan and brush.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I read that several pounds of soil, skin flakes, and other material can collect in your carpet per year. Bacteria can live up to 4 weeks in a carpet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think having them cleaned quite frequently is probably a good idea.
The carpet in my hallway is blue.
Yes.
There is another colour of carpet which is quite famous.
Red?
Correct.
Red carpets.
Red carpets have been around since about 450 BC.
No.
So it was written that Clytemnestra put some down for Agamemnon when he was returning from one of his sessions.
Right.
And so red carpet's been put down for special travellers or special guests for quite a long time.
Is that just by virtue of the fact that traditionally red was quite an expensive dye
Which
to
we've
make?
talked about before, yes.
Yes.
So red is like the most luxurious colour is red.
Yeah.
Or gold, but red generally.
Brilliant.
In 1902, the what was then British Rail Service, started to put red carpets down outside the first class carriages.
Really?
on the railway.
Brilliant.
So that was one thing. And then famously, in 1961, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the one that gives out the Oscars.
Oh, the Academy. The Academy.
That Academy.
The Academy Awards.
The Academy Awards.
Right.
So they started putting down red carpet in 1961.
Oh, okay, right.
And famously, people started to dress. Oh, nobody really dressed up for the Oscars, properly dressed up, until about 1969.
Really?
When Barbara Streisand walked along the red carpet, dressed up in the most amazing stuff that she'd got from a designer.
Sure.
And nowadays, designers, fall over themselves to give people fabulous clothes for the red carpet.
Just as the people who are wearing them fall over themselves because they're wearing the fabulous designs.
Absolutely, yes.
I've often wondered where the red carpets are kept, because every venue, every award ceremony, every hotel, every palace, etc., has their own red carpet, which they roll out for these special occasions.
Yes.
There must just be warehouses full of red carpets.
I'm sure there are, in much the same way as there are warehouses full of Christmas decorations and warehouses full of all sorts of things.
Yeah, where are they all kept, I wonder?
I heard something about there's a warehouse where the BBC used to be, and all the ITV shows had all of their Christmas decorations for their TV shows stored in these places in the BBC.
Oh, really?
Quite interesting.
That's nice to see the two channels
Exactly.
getting along together, isn't it?
Yes. So, red carpets. If you walk out onto a red carpet, that's always nice.
Yes. Have you ever done so?
Yes, I have. You asked that question as though you weren't expecting the answer.
No, I fully expected you to say yes. I was thinking of the two of us. I know I never have, but I assumed at some point you probably had.
So I went to the film festival at Cannes a few years ago, and I was invited to a premiere. I walked up the red carpet up to the screening, and I got to the top of the stairs and turned around and waved at the photographers, and they're probably going, "Who the hell is that?"
Oh, fantastic. That's so you.
There's animal carpets as well.
made of animal or for animals?
Animals that look like carpets.
Okay.
So the most famous one is the carpet shark.
I've never heard of this.
The carpet shark.
Yeah.
So it's like a flat shark that looks like a carpet.
Okay.
They live in Australia.
Right.
Barrier Reef. It's basically camouflage.
Okay.
As the bottom of the sea looks sort of like mottled.
Yeah.
And these carpet sharks have a sort of like a mottled look to them. And because they're sort of quite flat, they were named carpet sharks.
That's brilliant. Do you have photographic evidence of this that we can show to people anywhere, Bruce?
Oh, yes, of course. We have our show notes.
Aha.
The blog at factoraly.com.
Factoraly.com?
That's the one.
Brilliant.
I'll put some video of a carpet shark in there, and you can have a look at that.
Great.
There are other things like bags made of carpets.
In the Mary Poppins sense?
Well, yes. I mean, a carpet bag is something that was a thing, but it's a bit like travelling with all your stuff in a black bin liner.
Yes. So were they... That's an interesting point, actually, because I'm just suddenly realising that I don't know what a carpet bag is other than in Mary Poppins she has a carpet bag, and because it's made of a magical carpet, it stores huge, great items like lampstands and things.
So generally carpetbaggers were people who travelled a lot. And
Right.
the term carpetbagger became a political term for somebody who's parachuted into a position. So like if you've got a constituency that the person who's representing that constituency doesn't actually live in,
Right.
he or she has just been parachuted into that place, even though they know nothing about it, have never lived there, have no connections. They're called carpetbaggers because they've basically shown up temporarily with a small carpet bag so they can stay there overnight.
Wow. This is precisely my local constituency. I shall name no names. So were carpet bags so called because they were made of pieces of carpet?
That's exactly right, yes.
That is it.
Yes.
As simple as that.
Very simple.
Brilliant.
So where do you buy your carpets from generally?
Me personally, I would probably go to a nationally renowned, exquisite carpet manufacturer such as Carpetright.
Yes, all those Carpet Land, Carpet World, Carpetright, all those places. There are a couple of very good carpet shop names. There's one, I can't remember where it is now, but it's called Lino Ritchie.
Lino Ritchie?
Yes.
That's brilliant.
That's a carpet shop. But there's also carpet cleaners that have good names. There's in St Austell, there's one called Spruce Spring Clean.
Oh, well done them.
Rather good, eh?
That's brilliant. Speaking of funny names, I was thinking about underlay, carpet underlay.
Not the Spanish word for hurry up.
Well, exactly. I can't hear underlay. I can't hear anybody talking about the fact that they're going to get underlay or they're going to put down some underlay without picturing Speedy Gonzales. It's impossible.
Yes.
But underlay in itself is fairly interesting. I'd never really given the stuff too much thought.
Oh,
but,
you have to.
Underlay is a sort of a cushioning item that is put down underneath the carpet. So if you've got a hard floor of concrete, wood, whatever it is, you lay down this sheet of underlay, which is made of various things from rubber to foam to cork to recycled plastic these days.
It used to be made of felt.
Or
didn't it?
felt,
You used to get
yes,
felt
that's right.
underlay.
Yeah.
I remember going into a carpet shop once and asking where I could get felt.
Hey. They said, "Come this way, sir." And that just sort of provides a little bit of extra cushioning, a little bit of extra insulation and warmth.
But it's worth spending the money on very high quality underlay. Because if you spend the money on the underlay, then the carpet will always feel much more luxurious.
Yes. And it increases the longevity of the carpet as well, because the bottom of the carpet is now suddenly rubbing against something soft and squishy rather than rubbing against the bare floor.
Yes.
So that it actually makes the carpet stay intact for longer, as well as making it comfier and cozier and a little bit warmer.
Ah. So, Simon, have you got any records for us for carpets?
I have, yes. Rather unsurprisingly, these are all about the biggest, the longest, etc.
Okay.
There are some massive carpets in the world. It's ridiculous. The Guinness World Record for the largest hand-woven carpet is 60,000 square feet. or just over 5,500 square metres. That's just a little bit smaller than a football pitch.
Okay.
One single carpet.
One carpet?
One carpet. Made in several sections and then seamed together in situ.
Yeah.
This sits in a mosque in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
It was installed in 2007. And this has got some fantastic stats on it. This thing took over a decade to make. It incorporated 38 different carpet companies. It took 3,000 workers to create it, including 1,200 professional weavers. It took 38 tons of wool and cotton.
38 tons?
Yep.
Wow.
And it contains 2.2 billion hand-tied knots. So each of those pile threads are hand-tied into the carpet.
You know what I'm going to say next, don't you?
That's a big carpet.
No, I've been there.
Oh, for goodness sake. Have you?
I mean, the chandeliers in this place are ridiculous. I mean, the carpet is amazing.
Yes.
But there's like a whole series of handmade chandeliers, like beautiful, huge chandeliers around the area, which is quite something.
Wow. Right. So you, Bruce Fielding, have trodden on the world's largest handcrafted carpet.
I didn't realise I was doing it at the time, but yes.
There you go. Retrospectively, you can insert that memory now. By comparison, the longest rug, again, debate amongst yourselves whether it's a carpet or a rug, 35,787 feet long.
Wow.
Just under 11,000 metres. So 11 kilometres worth of rug.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? This was created in 2018 in Kazakhstan as a charity thing. Again, it sort of, brought lots of carpet companies and individuals and, local enthusiasts and so on coming together to create this carpet for in aid of a children's charity.
Wow.
But yeah, just under 11 kilometres of rug.
That reminds me that you can build houses out of carpets, can't you?
Can
they call
you?
them yurts.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Yeah. You get a sort of a tent frame and sling a whole load of rugs over it and ta-da.
Yeah. Carpets. More interesting than you thought they were going to be.
Yes, indeed. These things often are.
But, whenever we do stuff, I mean, if you subscribe to our podcast, which I'm assuming you do, and if you don't, then you should.
You should.
Then you'll find out more stuff like this.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you do find out more stuff like this, what should you do, Simon?
You should do so many things. You should tell all of your nerdy friends about it and extol the virtues of this wonderful show to them so that they can come along and listen as well.
Yes, and ideally tell other people that you don't know by leaving a 5-star review and just say something nice about us.
Yes, that would be lovely. So thank you so much for coming along and listening to us. We do hope you enjoyed yourselves. Please come again next time for another fun-filled episode of
Factoraly.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.